T'es bien là? Ah non?
C'était juste en caméra.
Bon, tu panotes. Bon, alors fais un plan sur moi, puisque c'est le début. Hi everybody, the stream is about to start in a few minutes. I just want a couple of minutes for prepping the copy and paste the links for the Facebook group. So I will be back in 2 minutes. Meanwhile, my camera woman today will show you where we are, and back to you in a few seconds. Thank you. Bon, on est live, c'est bon. Contrôle C. Non, 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 il y a un truc qui va pas. Désactiver le wifi. On a fait la même connerie hier. On ne peut pas. Je peux pas. Non, on n'y arrivera pas. Ah oui, peut-être comme ça. Ça continue. Ok. Il y a déjà des commentaires. J'arrête. Ça y est, ils sont déjà connectés. On a déjà des. Ok, William mon poste, il est là.
Tu le mets sur ton Facebook?
Pas le mien, non, mais dans les groupes, là, vous avez trouvé. Ok.
Et je le chapeau, moi, le stream?
Sur ma... T'as pas préparé la page?
Non.
Oh.
Sur la page YouTube?
Ouais, faut chercher comme hier, continue. Ok. C'est le pro. Playlist, chaîne, machin. Normalement, ça devrait être. On est bien en public, Mathilde? Bah oui, l'autre il le voit.
Il y a 4 personnes là.
Hein?
Il y a 4 personnes.
D'accord. Bon, file-moi le micro, je vais commencer à meubler. S'il faut, tu recopies. Alors, s'il faut, tu recopies. Oh putain, il ferme à chaque fois, merde. Ah non. Bon, Mathilde va me filmer et tu essayes de te débrouiller. Okay, we are almost ready. Another little problem to solve for monitoring the stream while we are shooting. It's all mobile, it's all based on smartphones and tablets, so it's not as easy and comfy that I'm used to, and we are trying to set this up properly in order to do something that we control a little bit. So again thank you for watching. As I told you in the announcement, it's quite an experiment. It's not brand new, but we are using a smartphone, a small rig, a microphone based on XLR connection in order to get proper audio, and we're in the center of Bordeaux. It's not very sunny, unfortunately, pretty cold, but the idea is to be in real conditions for a very lightweight production solution. So I've got two crew members with me today. I will introduce you, I will introduce them to you in a small in a moment when we are all ready. And as I told you, I decided to do this live streaming today to validate the technical solution, the kit we are using in real conditions, and see how it goes. Are you ready, Thibaut? Not yet? C'est bon?
Ouais.
Okay. So we are 3 people. Yes, carry on. The idea is to provide you with a small tour in Bordeaux. So we'll be walking and going through the streets and show you what my hometown is when it's not very sunny, but anyway. So we are starting here in Place des Quinconces, which is a city square. It's basically the largest city square in Europe. So yeah, maybe Mathilde will show you a little bit. T'es juste derrière le panneau. I'll be speaking French sometimes and English most of the time for you. As you can see, this city square is very large. It's 12 hectares. I think it's, I remember, it must be something like 150,000 square yards. It's the largest in Europe, and at the moment it's used by this circus, the Arlette Grus circus, which is also the world's biggest circus tent. And this circus comes in Bordeaux every year in January to rehearse the yearly show. So they start their season in here and stay here for 1 month or 6 weeks, I forgot exactly, but something like that, and they prep the show, they rehearse with new talents, and at the moment the circus is not open for public. We cannot go, they are working, but maybe next week or the week after the show will start. So this city square we are in is very large. It's also can you show them the sculpture and everything? It's okay, you will see. Bordeaux is a historical city, and we've got a lot of monuments, historical monuments, fountains. Can you show them? Can you show them the sculpture here? Okay, it's there's no water at the moment because it's the winter, but normally we've got water, and okay, it's quite nice. So we'll be starting to move. On y va, let's go. So I go in front. We've got stairs here, so we'll be cautious. Up, up, up. It's okay for you? Ça va le stream? Ça va? Okay, so we are now walking to the real center of Bordeaux, and I will describe a little bit what you can see. Oh, there's a tram. Can you show them the tram? In Bordeaux, we've got electrical tram for public transportation. You can see one here, and this place is also a hub for public transport with trams, buses, and you could not see it, but at the end of this city square we've got a big river, La Garonne, and we've got also boats which allow us to move inside Bordeaux and go from one side to the other, and it's quite nice. Tourists like it a lot. It's an easy way, a very cheap way to visit Bordeaux. So we are going to cross a street and be cautious. Hang on. Okay. You won't see many cars because ça a coupé? Okay. Up, up, up. Hang on, hang on. Okay, we can go. You won't see many cars because the whole center of Bordeaux is a pedestrian area only. Tu fais gaffe où je marche? Ok. Ouais. Ah, there's another tram. I don't want to be crashed, so we have to stop. So, yes, I was saying, the whole center of Bordeaux is pedestrian. Cars are not allowed to access this area, and so it's easy for tourists to walk through the city, but obviously it's not very convenient for the residents. Even I live in this area, and we cannot park our car just in front of our building, so we have to walk a lot or use public transport. Behind me you can see the tramway hub. We'll be cautious again. I'm looking at my road map. So, yeah, Bordeaux, I told you before, is je marche pas trop vite? No. Bordeaux is a historical city, and it was very much preserved. Attention au câble. Okay. It was very much preserved through times. Most of the buildings we're walking through behind me and everywhere, he will show you more in a few minutes, were built in the 17th and 18th century, and the UNESCO classified Bordeaux, the whole center, as a monument, and it's thus forbidden to destroy a building or to build recent buildings. Everything has to be kept like it was built 200 or 300 years ago. And I will read a small paragraph, a small text I copied from Wikipedia to explain better. Attention, Mathilde. Okay, we're in a zone with a lot of people around, It's not easy, but we will be entering a new zone. Maybe you can show them. Do a large pan. We've got cars here again. So as you can see, on voit pas beaucoup la place Tourny. Yeah. Ok, on va traverser. We're gonna cross the street. And after this street, you won't see no cars anymore. Attention. Okay, par là, yes. Okay, so another tram is coming. Behind the tram, there is a large alley. It's called les Allées de Tourny, and this was built for people to walk during the weekends. It was used 200 years ago by the rich people in Bordeaux to show off and to have social meetings and things like that. So we are now on another city square, which is called La Place de la Comédie, and on this city square you can see behind me in this direction le Grand Hôtel de Bordeaux, the Grand Hotel of Bordeaux, which is a 5-star hotel, very expensive hotel, and on its right you've got a restaurant which is owned by a very famous chef. He is American or English, I forgot, Gordon Ramsay. And just here on my right, sorry, on the left of the image, another restaurant is held by another famous chef in France. He's called Michel Etchevest. And well, these two chefs are just in front of each other, competing to be the best restaurant in Bordeaux, and both have their own shows on the TV. That's why they are so famous. On this side of the image you can see big columns. It's the theater and opera in Bordeaux. It was built more than 200 years ago, and we are going to walk again to show you a better view. I'm not used to be a host, so I'm forgetting to face the camera, but yeah. And I also forgot, up, skateboards. On va tout droit. I also forgot to introduce you my crew, but we'll do it in a short period of time, in a quieter place maybe. Okay, so you see there the Grand Hotel, and this part of Bordeaux is really the richest one. It used to be we call this area the Golden Triangle, because it's a triangle, and if you look at the map from the sky you will see that it's really a triangle, and in the middle of it there is a round square, which is quite typical. Yes, this block of buildings were built by rich merchants, because Bordeaux has an history in the wine industry. Obviously, you may know Bordeaux because of its wine. It's the world's capital city for the wine, but it has also an history in the what was the slave trade and the triangular trade. Bordeaux became a rich city mostly because of the slavery, and not far away from here we've got a river, I told you already, and we had a lot of ship owners which were involved in the triangular trade. So no, it's okay. So we had ships going away to Africa with goods for sale in Africa, unloaded over there, and then the ships were loaded with slaves, and the ships were going to America and the West Indies with black people, and most of America was built on the result of this trade, which, well, we are not very proud of. It's part of history, but yeah, that's one of the reasons why Bordeaux is so nice and so rich city. So now we try to forget, but past is past and we are not responsible, but that's the way things went. So we're still walking. Maybe you can show them this monument. Bordeaux is mostly historical, but we also have modern things in it. Not much, but this sculpture here is brand new. It's from a Spanish artist, and this, you see it well, yeah. And this sculpture is very strange because it has, in fact, it's quite flat, and when you are, I don't know if you will see it with the image, maybe we can go around. Depending on the angle you're looking at this sculpture, you realize it's quite flat, but it gives a 3D impression, and I think the artist is Spanish. He's called Jaume Pensa, and yeah, from this angle you see it's very flat. The sculpture is 7 meters high and it's less than 1 meter wide, but from the angle you really think it's yeah, some kind of a 3D experiment or something like that. And behind the sculpture now, I think you have a nice view on the the theater, the opera, which I forgot when it was built, but well, it's quite old, and the acoustic when you go to this venue for classical music, the acoustic is great. The slightest sound from the stage is spread all over the venue. It's really a good place to listen to classical music and shows like ballet or theater. Obviously, it's okay for the view. Yeah, okay. So maybe you can go around, Mathilde, and show them these streets. This street just in front of you is, well, that's the street I live in. My flat is on the left at about 100 meters from here, and well, it's quite crowded at the moment. There are people everywhere. I was expecting less people, but we have to deal with it. Another tram, and this street, which is called Cours de l'Intendance, Intendant Street, is sort of Les Champs-Élysées from Bordeaux. That's the street where you have all the luxury boutiques and luxury shops, big brands, and as you can see, it's all pedestrian, very few cars. The zone is restricted to residents only, but we cannot park. We can just access this area to unload our trunks, for example. And now we will enter another very famous street in Bordeaux, which is called Sainte Catherine Street. And this street is the longest pedestrian street in Europe. It's 1.2 kilometers long. So as you can see, a lot of people. It can be worse, but it's already quite crowded at the moment. And we are going to walk Tu nous diriges bien? And this street is mostly commercial. It's like a huge commercial. I think there are 250 or 300 shops all along this street, with mostly fashion shops and cosmetics and shoes and clothes, but also yeah, I see a telephony carrier boutique where you can buy a telephone. Tu passes derrière moi pour me diriger. Cela, il y a du monde, hein? Okay, a lot of people. I'm afraid to crash somebody. Yeah, many shops all along. So obviously it's not like a commercial center, because you cannot get here with your car, so you won't be shopping with a car park and put everything in your trunk. It's impossible. You have to carry everything and be walking. But I guess, yeah, you see, it's yeah, it's an important street in Bordeaux. If you come and visit, you will most likely come here and find souvenirs and things like that. So, we are, as you can see on my left, there is also a McDonald's. Well, this is not my favorite restaurant. We are not much into junk food in here, but yeah, a lot of shops, more than 1 kilometer, 300 shops. Okay, and we are going to enter another typical place in Bordeaux. You can get this building, Mathilde. You show them. We are going to enter La Galerie Bordelaise, which is a passage. Basically, it's a public street inside a building, and it was built in 1833. So we are going. On y va? Oh, men at work, a lot of noise. Okay. Tu passes devant? Yes. So I decided we would walk in here because it's a nice place, but also because on the 4G side of things, I wanted to see if the 4G would still work. So, okay, maybe you can turn around and show them the place. It's quite nice. Well, this was the most ancient commercial gallery. I don't know if it's English or American word for this, but yeah, this was built more than 200 years ago, and it was preserved pretty much the way it was when built. And it's classified. It's classified as a historical monument since 1975, if I learned my lesson well. Oh, by the way, I wanted to, yeah, we will enjoy this quiet place here. I have something to read about Bordeaux. As you can see, as you could see, it's really historical city, and everything's preserved because the UNESCO, you may know the UNESCO, has classified Bordeaux about 20 years, well, 10 or 15 years ago, I forgot the exact date, but the whole center of Bordeaux is classified, so it's impossible to destroy a building, to replace it with a modern one. It's impossible. And I will, to explain it clearly, I will read a small paragraph. So, Bordeaux is considered a World Heritage Site, and from Wikipedia, It means this is a landmark or area which is selected by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, the UNESCO, as having cultural, historical, scientific or other form of significance, and is legally protected by international treaties. These sites are judged important to the collective interest of humanity. It may signify a remarkable accomplishment of humanity and serve as evidence of our intellectual history on the planet. And we are quite proud of it, obviously, to live in such a, well, it's nearly a living museum. Obviously, it's not so easy every day because it's difficult to modify such buildings. My flat, for example, is more than 100 years ago, was built more than 100 years ago, and we cannot modify it the way we want. We have to respect a lot of treaties and regulations. But anyway, it's very pleasant to live in such a wonderful place, and we have a lot of tourists coming here all the time, and the UNESCO classified the city because it's a good example of well, what man can do at best sometimes. So we will carry on walking. We are close to the destination. Tu passes devant? Hop, hop, hop. Attention, okay. So I hope the streaming is okay for you. Thibaut is monitoring. Still okay for you, Thibaut? The stream, yeah. One of the goal I wanted to achieve today is to see how much we can use roaming 4G. Since we started walking, I believe we have used at least 3 cell towers, and the idea was to see how well it works. So maybe you know, because I already mentioned it, that I have used 4G for streaming many times. I think the first time I used it was 4 years ago, something like that, in Paris for a concert. So I was using a live view unit at that time, and it worked very well. I also did productions from moving vehicles on the motorway, and it went very well. But each time we had very expensive equipment to do it, and we are only doing it today with a smartphone and the included 4G SIM card, and well, only customer range equipment. We'll talk about this a little bit later on, but the experiment today is to check many things at the same time. So, okay, we turn right now. I will go in reverse. So we are now entering a new area in Bordeaux, which is, as you can see, made of little streets. And this part of Bordeaux is even older than the previous district we were in. I have to, I'm not used to it. Being a host is something different than being a director. Okay. Okay, another car. Oh. Ça va? It's all good for you? I'm not checking the... I will check now. the comments. Oh, a lot. Les chocolatines. Okay. So we are now in another street, obviously. This is the restaurant street, and in this street you can eat all sorts of food from the whole world. You had Japanese restaurant, Italian, Indian, Chinese, Vietnamese, and French also, because we can cook, we French. Okay. Yeah, at night and at lunchtime, obviously this street is full of people, and in the summer you've got terraces, so you can eat outside. Okay, we are close to the destination, only one more corner. And yeah, as you can see, the streets here are smaller. You can show them this street, for example. Okay, a typical street. As you can see, going there with a car is not convenient. That's why the whole center of Bordeaux became pedestrian 20-25 years ago. And we also have the opportunity to receive a lot of movie productions. Okay, the police car. These streets are not used for movie production, but we have more quieter streets with less shops. Whoa! Where a lot of movies are done and produced. Foreseen historical movies, obviously. Okay, we're going to turn in this street. Ok, tu vas à l'envers et je te suis. Hop, retourne. Okay, so we are close to the destination. Okay, this street also is mostly restaurants, and we are really in a part of Bordeaux which is even older. I think buildings here were built 300 or 400 years ago, and it's mostly intact apart from the shops. Allez, retour. Yeah, it's a pity we have trucks on the city square. So show them this square, another square, very typical. It's la place du Parlement, Parliament Square, and on the architecture aspect, it's what we call an Italian square. Maybe because it's, I don't know why, but it's an Italian square. You show them the buildings, you can go around. Okay, and these are mostly flats. Some of these are quite large. It's a pleasant place to live in. And at the end of this street, you see this street, Mathilde? Yeah. At the end of this street, we are reaching the docks of Bordeaux along the river, and there is another square over there which is very famous. But we won't go there, we will stay here. And now I will try to see if you have questions, and so I'm going to sit there, okay? Hopala. Okay, it's a pity the fountains are all stopped because it's the winter. Okay, I see you guys. Rudy is here. Thank you, Rudy. Bonjour. Urat. Okay, le gang des chocolatines. Friend of Thibaut. Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce you to my crew, so we are going to do it now. But okay, Rick, thank you, Rick, for being there. No questions? Okay, feel free to ask questions. I'm going to explain anyway after I introduce you to my two students working with me. Yes, I'm going to describe the technical solution we are using today. But first, okay, let's introduce my guys. So, I keep the mic, tu me prends ça. I will take the rig in and okay, go. Yes. Okay, so on the mic. Okay, here they are, my two students. So I forgot to mention that yes, these two youngsters are students in a cinema school in Bordeaux, the one I go sometimes to teach a little, and they are doing an internship with my company. So I will start with the lady. What's your name?
My name is Mathilde.
Oh, sorry, I forgot I had to shoot at the same time. Okay, Mathilde, what do you do when you are at school?
I'm in the camera specialty.
Yes.
And I love to frame, to do lights, and I'm interested by globally the image.
Image.
Yes.
Image specialty. Yeah, okay. And what about you? What's your name?
I'm Thibaut. I'm learning production, how to be a producer, cinema producer, and I'm interested about, I think, anything in cinema.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
So you two are very young. Mathilde is only 18 years old and she's already in second year. And Thibaut is 19. Yeah. But so they work with me for 10 days now. Well, it's the first full week we've been working together, and the first mission they had to do was to set up this rig we are using today. And so I'm going to show it. Well, we cannot show it because we only have one camera, but I'm going to describe it. So I will give the camera back to Mathilde, and we can talk about the technical aspects. So if you have questions, it's the good moment. But anyway, I will certainly post more information on the Facebook groups, Webcasters and Streaming Idiots, so you can see what we were using today. Okay, Mathilde. Okay. Yes. Oh yeah. So basically the kit. We are using a middle range Android smartphone. It's a Sony XA1, which middle range. I think it's 200, 250. It's between 250 and 300. Sony. It's okay. It's okay. The smartphone is used with a stabilizer, Chinese stabilizer, which works pretty well. I guess you saw it. That was one of the objectives of this experiment, to see how well it performed when walking, when going anywhere. I think the image was pretty stable, and it's interesting to work with such a device. I used it lately for a production using NDI feed, and it worked very well. Today we are doing RTMP streaming with it, but it's the same thing. We are also using Saramonic XLR to XLR adapter for smartphones. So as you can see, I can use a standard interview microphone. It's a Shure, it's a Shure model. I wanted to to use an handheld microphone to be able to do interviews if the opportunity came, and but we are also working on a setup with wireless microphones, lavalier, and we can also use all sorts of microphone with this setup. For example, can you shoot this? This is the Saramonic, I'm not sure. Is the image okay? Yeah. Okay, this is the Saramonic device. And I will... Oh, no. Okay, I closed the tab, sorry. I wanted to show you the stabilizer model, but I closed the tab. It's a Zhiyun Smooth Q. Zhiyun spells Z-H-I-H-U-N, Smooth Q stabilizer. It's very affordable. I think it's 120, something like that, and it works very, very well. Yeah, okay, that's about it. So we are very, very lightweight. I've got a drop on my nose. I will get an handkerchief. It's cold. Well, it's cold. Not too cold. It's about 10 degrees, 50 Fahrenheit, something like that. Yeah, I forgot to mention that Bordeaux is a city in the southwest of France. It's sometimes we call it the California of France. It's quite abusive, but okay. We can understand why. It's both regions are southwest, and we are about 50 kilometers away from the Atlantic coast. Our region is quite famous also for its the beaches. We've got a lot of summer holiday. Well, a lot of people coming here for summer holidays because of the beaches. Not beaches, but beaches. Sorry about that. Our beach goes from Bordeaux to Spain. So that's something like 250 kilometers, a single beach, non-stop, and you've got big waves, so it's a fantastic place to surf. If you like surfing, we have the world championship coming in the area once or twice a year. And okay, and also I forgot to mention that we are about 550 kilometers away from Paris, and we can do the trip to Paris in 2 hours with the new train that we have, and this train goes at 320 kilometers. That's about 200 miles per hour, so it's a really fast train, and in 2 hours we do 600 kilometers to go to Paris. Okay, I'm going to check if there are questions. No, but anyway, a lot of people watching. It's nice. Okay, so we arrived the destination of this virtual tour of Bordeaux. That was the idea. I don't know. Wow, it took a long time. Nearly 50 minutes. It was supposed to be shorter and quicker. Sorry, I was speaking a lot. But there are many things to see, and the conditions were quite different than the ones I expected. At first, I thought there would have been less people in the streets, but that's the way. It's a living city, and we cannot avoid people from being in the street. So thank you for watching. I will just say another thing. We'll be experimenting more rigs in the weeks to come with my students, interns. There is another solution we'll be experimenting maybe next week, using a real camera, not a smartphone, but it's supposed to be very lightweight and work in autonomy, no power required except batteries. So we have this to do, pretty much the same lightweight solution but with a real camera, and then we will be experimenting on using Vmix with 2 or 3 cameras in the middle of nowhere, which is not brand new, but it has to be tested extensively to see the autonomy, the features we can use and everything. We'll be also experimenting soon the NDI over the internet solutions, especially Medialux and NDI Cloud. So if you're interested, subscribe to the YouTube channel, maybe my Facebook page also. One of the objectives of this internship with my students is to be live at least once a week, experimenting new solutions that we are designing and testing to see how it could be used commercially to provide new services cheaper than what I usually do with 4, 5, 6 cameras and the whole setup. I do mostly live events, you know that. So yes, we are working on lightweight solutions, easy to set up, easy to use, and mainly for Facebook Lives or Live Now on YouTube, and quick solutions for short shows in the middle of nowhere or anywhere, using 4G most of the time. So that's it. I'm going to shut up now. Thank you very much for your interest. If you have questions, you can now ask them in the chat. I will answer later on, and stay focused. We'll be live at least once a week with new solutions to demonstrate and information to share. So thank you again. Bye bye.